Hello everyone. So in today's video we are going to discuss how to insert a new column into our table using DDL queries and how to insert data into our tables. So what we have here is our question set number 47. We have the same description here. So what we are going to do is basically we have this teacher column here. What we have to do is to add a column named teacher registration. It should be not now, so we have to write the DDL query for that, and then we have to add this data to that column. Next we have to do the same thing but student index here, and it will be not null as well. Yeah, it should be not null as well, and we have to add this data inside that given column, and here we have to insert this data here. So we have to make sure these values are in the table, and finally we have to do a similar insert query, but here we are going to have for the major subjects. So basically a table named student has subject has been created to store all the subjects studied by grade 9 students in the school. You need to enter the data into the created table. So grade 9 students will study all the major subjects, so that means all the 6 subjects which we covered in our previous video. So those 6 subjects will be entered for each student. So we have to write, we have 6 students and 6 subjects, so we'll be having to write 36 queries. Yeah, so basically this is what we are going to answer in our question. Let's head on to our MySQL command line. Alright, so for our first question here, in the database field you created a table called teacher is so teacher is created to store the information related to teachers in the grade who teach the grade 9 students in the school. You need to add a column teacher underscore reg to the created table. Your team leader has told you that the column you must add must be with not null. Create the required DDL query. Alright, so first of all we need to select our database. So we are going to write use underscore runabeamer sch underscore db. Alright, click on enter. So now our database has been selected. So now we need to add the column. So we are going to write alter table teacher. So now we are altering the teacher table here, and we are going to add the column teacher underscore registration reg varchar 11 not now. Alright, so this has now been added, and moving on to our second question. In the table you have created, you need to enter the data in the teacher ID, newly added teacher ID column. Create the required DDL query. Alright, so now we need to update our teacher table. So update teacher, update teacher, set teacher underscore reg rtea1 where the student ID, where the teacher ID is equal to 1. Go to click on shift and click on enter. So now this has been updated. Next, update the teacher. So here we are going to set the value, the teacher underscore reg rtea2 where teacher ID equal to 2. Alright, then question so then moving on to our question number 3. we need to create for our student table a column name student ID, so that will also be the same. So it will be a not null one. So alter table student, okay, add column, and we are going to have the student index as the added column, and it will be varchar 11, not null. Alright, so now this has been added to our database as well. Next, in question number 4, we need to add the table of data. So the student ID should have the student index number, so 1 should have RSTU1. Likewise, until 6 we should fill that values. So we need to update the student table, student set student underscore index, where student underscore index is equal to RSTU1, where the student ID is equal to 1. It is equal to 1. Alright, so now that is done. So I'm just going to copy this query and write it 6 times. So here, instead of 1 this time, we are going to have the value 2. Alright, so that is done. Alright, 3 is done. Okay, so now 4 is done, then 5, alright, 5 is done, and finally 6. And 6 is done. Alright, so that's the end of our 4th question. Moving on to our 5th question. We need to insert the values to our teacher has subject table. So here we need to insert into teacher has subject. Alright, so here we are going to insert the value subject ID and teacher ID, and the values will be 1 1, and I'm just going to copy this query because I think we have 7 entries. Okay, now I'm going to run this. So that's the first one. Our second set of matching entries will be 2 2 2 2. Alright, so that's done as well. Then the next set of matching entries will be 2 3 2 3. Alright, so that's entered. Next we have 3 4 3 4. Click on enter, that is done. And here we have 3 2 3 2. Okay, that is done. Now we have 3 3 3 3. That is done. And finally we are going to have 4 4. So yeah, so that is also done. So next we have a table named student has subject has been created to store all the subjects studied by grade 9 students in the school. You need to enter the data into the created table. So the grade 9 students will be studying all the major subjects. Create the DDL query needed to store those learning subjects, so basically all the 6 subjects that we have. So here, insert into, we will be needing 36 queries. Student has subject, and the columns taken are subject ID, and the values will be yeah, 1 1 1 1. Okay, copying this. Wait, I haven't subject ID, forgot to add the student ID. Student ID, yeah, so that is alright. So I need to copy this query because we had to write it 36 times. Control C. Okay, so now it's copied, and I'm going to click on enter. So now we have that done. So second one is going to be 2, and I'm going to click on enter. Third one is going to be 3. So I'll be changing the student ID from time to time. So that's also done. This is alright. Okay, so the first subject has all 6 students. So I'm going to copy this now. Okay, I'm going to click on enter. Next we're going to have student number, the subject number 3. So you can change it like this. Alright. So copying this again. So we have 2 more subjects to cover. Okay, so open this. Okay, alright, so this is our final query. I'm gonna click on enter, and yeah, basically this is it for our questions which we have answered today. We have added all these values. So let's move on to a DDL browser to see if these have been added correctly. So now we are in our DDL browser, so we need to check if our student values have been added. So yeah, so that's we need to refresh the database first, and now we must check the data values. We can see that student index there, and the teacher hasn't been added quite correctly. Yeah, I'll add all those 5. So next we have this subject, student has subject, so we have all 36 here, so that's correctly done. And finally the teacher has subject, so yeah, that's done. And basically that is it for this video on how to insert a column to a table and how to insert data using DDL query. That is it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful for you.